to Revival Fitness at home circuit training. So you're going to need a little bit of space today, and also an exercise mat if you've got it, and don't forget your drink bottle, so we can keep ourselves hydrated and ready to go for all through the workout. So today we've got a strength-based workout. There's going to be a lot of lower body work, just kind of working all the way through with a little bit of upper body to finish, okay? But we're going to do 3 rounds of exercises, 6 exercises, working for 40 seconds with a 15-second rest in between, and then we've got a minute recovery between our rounds, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to each of the exercises, show you through, and that'll be kind of part of our warm-up. So while I'm going through it, if you need to, just go through, have a little practice with me, warm yourself up, and then we'll get into the workout proper. Okay, so exercise 1 today is going to be our alternating lunge. So I like to do this as a reverse lunge. So you're keeping yourself nice and upright, then you're going to take a nice long step backward, okay? And then from here, we take that back knee down to the ground, then you push back up and come forwards, okay? Then you're going to change over, long step back, back knee down, push up and come forwards through the hip. Ideally what we want to do is as you step back, still try and keep most of your weight through that front leg. So as you come down, you're in this position, weighted through that front foot, push up with the hips, and you'll get a nice strong work all the way through the hip, from the glutes through those thighs as well. And we're going to alternate that. If you need to help yourself with some balance, you can also kind of have something by your side to help you balance, or when you step back, just make sure you take a slightly wider step. The narrower you are, the more likely you're going to struggle. So take a nice wide step back, and you can still do the lunge in that position. Once we've done the alternating lunge, we're going to come into our squat and high knees. So we're going to go through a sequence here where we're going to do 2 squats, then we're going to come up, 4 high knees. Okay, set back into your squat position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those high knees just to get up to about hip height. Okay, when we're doing those squats, make sure you push your hips backwards. Okay, and then sit down as if you're sitting down into a seat. You still want to keep your weight evenly spread across the foot, but what I don't want is to have those knees pushing right forwards and then just resting on the hips like that. Okay, so take the hips back behind the feet and push back up and drive those hips forwards. Okay, so that's our squat. 2 squats, 4 high knees, carrying through that all the way through the time. Next exercise is our single leg deadlift. Okay, so we're going to start this off. We're going to do it for half the time on one leg, half the time on the other. If you do have a weight or anything, you can use that and hold it into your hand while you do this. But we're really going to make sure that we just shift our weight onto one side. Start off with just that toe touch to get your balance. Hands just on the front of that thigh of the weight bearing leg. Then what we're going to do, keep your back nice and straight. You're going to point that other foot backwards, come forward, pivoting that chest down, and then push back up, okay? From the side, weight onto one side, back nice and straight, push the hip backwards, knee doesn't bend too far, come down, find that tension down the back of the hamstring, and then push back up, and that's your movement there. So go through 20 seconds on one side, then we'll do 20 seconds on the other side. If you need to stabilise yourself, every time you come up, you can just kind of touch that toe down, get your balance, and then go again. And then you can move on, other side, back straight, hip back, and come through, okay? And repeat. So that's our single leg deadlift. We then come onto a marching bridge. So this one we're going to be on our back on the floor, okay? Having your feet coming up quite close to your bum. Then we're going to tilt our hips backwards. So when I say that, tuck your tailbone under, trying to flatten that lower back against the floor. That initiates kind of these abs, the tummy muscles. And then with that position held, you can push through your heels to get the hips in the air. And then you're just going to gently lift one leg up, keeping the hips in a nice stable position. Put the leg down and repeat on the other side. So it'll look like this. Feet close to bum. Tilt the hips back so the lower back's flat onto the floor. Activating the tummy. Push the hips up. Lift. Come back down. Lift on the other side. Try and keep your hips up nice and high as we go through, so they don't drop or twist whenever you're lifting your leg up. So try and keep that stable as possible. Coming on from there, our last two exercises, we're going to come down into our plank position. So we've got our plank to push up, and this is basically alternating from our hands down to our elbows and pushing back up again. So each time you're going to push with one hand to get yourself right up, come back down. Keep a rhythm halfway through. Ideally you change over to the opposite hand that pushes you up. But you're going to stay in a nice strong plank position all the way through, keeping that core nice and tight. So it'll look like this. Strong plank position, coming down, left, right, push up with my left and onto my right. If I keep going with that rhythm, I'm always pushing up with my left side. So halfway through, I'm going to reverse that, come down right, left, and push up with the right side. Okay? All the time, keeping a nice, long, straight body position. If you can't do the full plank, then you can do the same from the knees, but still drop those hips down so that you're nice and straight through that body. Not with your hips back up here, and not full plank with the hips up high, nice and low. Okay? Then to finish with our exercise, we've got plank jacks. So again, in a full plank position, we're going to start with our feet close together. Then we're just going to hop and jump our feet out and in a sequence. So start off narrow, jump your feet wide, jump back in, and repeat as we go through. Try to do that as best you can for the full 40 seconds. It's going to be tough at that point, so if you need to take a little break, do, but try and push yourself to get through. So this is what that exercise looks like with the plank jacks. So again, nice solid plank position, shoulders over the hands, jumping the feet in and out. Okay? So, those are our 6 exercises. Get yourself ready. Just going to have a swig of water before we get going. And setting up the timer. So 40 seconds for each exercise, 15 seconds rest, and then a minute between each of our sets, 3 rounds. Okay? So starting off, we're going to have our alternating lunges, and off we go. That's it. Try to keep that weight through that front foot. Stepping back. Focus on that back knee going down towards the ground, not on those front knees moving forwards. Struggling with balance, then just take a wider step, okay? Got 10 seconds to go. And rest there. Okay, next exercise, we're going to come into our squat with high knees. So 2 squats, then 4 high knee jogs, okay? 2, 1, off we go. Squat, squat, and high knee. This one's going to get our heart rate up, okay? First 2 sets, really dominating those legs, those quads. Ten seconds to go. Last couple. 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Okay, coming into our single leg deadlift next, okay? So stay nice and stable. I'm going to try and do 20 seconds on each leg. 2, 1, and off we go. That's it, try and keep your balance as best you can. If you're able, don't put your foot down. I'll talk about that, I'll wobble. Staying as steady as you can. Okay, halfway, you're going to change over other leg. You'll always have one leg that's better than the other. But also, you start to get tired, your balance will get worse. Okay, 2, 1, and rest there. Okay, coming down to the floor, we've got our marching bridge. Here we go, coming down, feet in close, tilt those hips backwards, and we're going to push up, and off we go. Just a little lift of the leg, keep pushing down with your heels, activate those glute muscles, okay? Keep your hips nice and stable so they're not twisting, not dropping. And again, try and keep your tummy nice and tight all the way through so that you don't overarch through the back. 10 seconds to go. Two, 1, and rest. Okay, good. Then we come into our plank couple. So we've got our Commando Plank first, starting the full plank, coming down to the elbows. And remember, I'll get you to change over your direction. So off we go. Plank position, coming down, and push up as we go. Keep going as best you can. If you start on your toes and you can't maintain it, swap over halfway, change direction. Then you can always put your knees down and carry on, okay? Here we go, 5 to go. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, and we're coming into our last exercise for round 1. Coming into those plank jacks. So jumping our feet in and out. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. This one's a hard one on the shoulders once you've been doing those planks. If you need to take a break, do it, and try and push yourself through. Ten to go. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, take a break. We've got a minute. Slowly, just get yourself out of that position. Have a little drink. So you should be nice and familiar with those exercises now. Second time round, you're going to work out what you need to do to make sure you can get through each exercise. Some of these exercises are quite tough. Put them together in pairs. So actually you've got 2 exercises that kind of focus on the same areas that will really kind of get that fatigue building up. But then you get a nice long set of rest for that muscle group when you start the next couple of sets of exercises. So 5 seconds, we're coming into that alternating lunge. 2, 1, off we go. Round 2. Keep pushing through. Try to keep the core nice and tight while you're doing these lunges. Don't allow the back to fold. We don't want to arch through the back too much, okay? And we don't want to be leaning forwards too far on those lunges either. 10 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Whew. Okay, coming into our squat. 2 squats, 4 high knees. 3, 2, 1, and off we go. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our rhythm. So remember to try and keep a pace that you can maintain. Do really well, everyone. Keep it going. 10 seconds to go. 2, 1, and rest there. Okay, awesome. So then we're going to come through. Single leg deadlift, trying to keep that balance, swapping over legs halfway. 3, 2, 1, and off we go. Keep that back nice and straight. Try and keep your balance as best you can. Good. Okay, change sides. Do really well, team. 10 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, coming down next, we've got our marching bridge. So here we go, down to the floor, lower back flat against the ground, activate those abs, push up, and off we go. Keeping those hips up nice and high. Take the opportunity where you've got both feet down to make sure you're stable, you're balanced, and you've dug your heels in so you can keep the hips up high as you go. Okay, you've got 10 seconds to go. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, coming over for our upper body plank cutlet. So these are the hard ones. So starting off with that commando plank, down to the elbows, back up. 2, 1, off we go. Okay, keep pushing. We're going to change directions now. Start coming down and pushing up with the opposite side first. Ten seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Okay. Little break, then we've got those plank jacks. Jumping in and out. Okay, so do your best to keep it going. 2, 1, off we go. Keep pushing the halfway through. Go as far as you can before you take a rest. 10 to go. 2, 1, and rest. Good. Tough way to finish a set of exercises. Okay, got 1 other minute's rest before we get into our final round. A little bit more water. Take a breather. Go outside, get some fresh air. Got 30 seconds. Then we're going to come through to that final round. So the final round is going to be hard. I definitely feel it in the shoulders coming through that plank sequence. So I'm just going to try and do my best to manage myself as I get through. Okay, 10 seconds. We're starting round 3. Back into those alternating lunges. So set your position. 2, 1, off we go. Keep working through those legs, back knee down. Try and keep your weight through that front leg as best you can. Okay, so you're doing well. 10 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, quick break. 2 squats, 4 high knees. Find your rhythm and keep it going. 3, 2, 1, and off we go. 2. Starting to get tired now. Try and keep that form as best you can. Okay? Keeping that back straight. Knees out. 10 seconds. All the way through. Come on. Here we go. Last few. 2, 1, and rest. Okay. Back into our single leg deadlift. So find that balance point. 3, 2, 1, off we go. As your balance gets worse with fatigue, try and find something to focus on with your eyes. For me, I'm just looking at a spot on the floor. That way it helps me, okay, changing over. Helps me to keep my neck straight as I come into that deadlift. Doing really well, team. Keep it going. Last 5, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, back down to our mat, marching bridge. Coming into position, flatten that lower back, hips up, and off we go. Raise the foot, steady your feet. When you've got both down, make sure you've dug your heel in, so you're pushing the hip up, keeping that core nice and strong, hips up high. Okay, everyone, keep it going. We're going to go all the way through, just inside 10 seconds. Last few, keep those abs on. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, coming over. So, final couple of exercises. It's going to get really tough for these ones. Commando plank. toes or knees. 2, 1, off we go. Okay, so we should be getting a bit of sweat on now. Should be working hard. Okay, so halfway, I'm going to change direction. Keep it going, doing really well. 10 seconds to go, keep pushing. Two, 1, and rest. Okay, take your little break. Okay, final one. Commando plank, or plank jack, sorry. Here we go, jumping in and out, off we go. So this is a hard one. Try and keep going as best you can. Try and keep those hips low. So at this point, you're going to want to try and bring your hips up to make it easier. Try and keep yourself going. 10 seconds. Last few. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, what a great workout. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you worked as hard and got as sweaty as I have. It's really going to do you a whole lot of good. Strengthening up through those legs, lower body, core, and then just finishing off with a little bit of work for those upper body, shoulders in that plank position. If you like this workout, then do subscribe to my channel, like the video, and you can always drop me a comment below if you've got any questions. Otherwise, well done. It's a great workout to do, and you'll feel much better for getting it done and trying to be consistent by keeping up your routine. Enjoy the rest of your day, drink plenty of water, have a snack to refuel and recover, and then hopefully we'll see you for another workout later on. Okay. Bye.